Hey, so what I'm gonna end up doing right now is I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. Can you go to the next slide, please, Kia? I just want to frame for you a couple different things. So first and foremost, there are multiple ways that you can read for GIST virtually. So what I'm about to show you is just a snapshot. It's not the right way. If you're doing something differently and it's working for your kids and they're understanding the text, do not change every single thing you're doing just because you see Julie doing something different. Please don't do that. All of you are amazing and you should continue to work your hardest to ensuring children are learning the material. The second thing is we are just thinking about gisting. Assume that everything else has been done at this point. We're only focused on the gist. I've already done the lesson intro. That's the only thing we're focused on. And I want you to really consider as I'm going through this, how I communicate how and what to gist in an effort to really push kids towards the central idea. So Kia, you can go to the next. Okay, so this is the central idea that I'm pushing towards. It doesn't have to be exactly written this same way, but this is it. Beyonce fans had no chill about her doing something normal. This is what we are pushing towards, this idea that Beyonce is actually a normal human being, which is mind-boggling to the average person. So you go ahead and move in. So what's going to end up happening, I'm going to share my screen in a second, but I just wanted to give you a sense of what I would use as like student facing slides. You know, Bitmoji is like all the rage these days, but you don't have to put your Bitmoji into every slide. I can assure you of that. But just showing you that this is what I would have for student facing in terms of expectations while reading for GIST. So we're going to start off with a whole group read. I put up there my GIST prompt, which is who did what for paragraphs 1 through 3. And then I put on the side my expectations. Voices are off at this point in time, eyes are on the screens, and we're annotating in the notebook or on the Google Doc. I would be expecting kids to annotate on the Google Doc, but for right now, I didn't send it out to everybody, so you can feel free to write in your notebook. And then Kia, can you I'm gonna fast forward to the next two before I actually jump in just to show them what the student facing will look like. We're gonna move into an independent read. Again, I put up on the screen what it looks like, and then there's one more slide as well, and then we'll come together at the end. So yeah, exactly. And then the final slide. So you can go back to the first one and keep that one up, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys. So, okay. Can everybody see my screen? Yes? Okay, fabulous. So this is I'm going to put my teacher hat on, but like not too aggressively put my teacher hat on. But this is the type of way I would go about doing it with students. So hey, everybody. So nice to see you. We've already jumped into our lesson for the day. We know what our objective is. And before we can actually really practice that skill of today, we have to first understand what the text is mostly about. So we know in order to do this, we are going to stop and jot the gist throughout, right? Strong readers annotate text and keep track of their own literal comprehension. So our article for the day is Beyonce shops at Target just like us, and the internet needs a moment to recover. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the first 3 paragraphs aloud to you. And while I'm reading, I want you to be gisting on your own document, who did what? Who did what? So I'm gonna read these first 3 paragraphs to you aloud. Every now and again, Beyonce does something to remind us that she's not actually a sky-parting, high-note-hitting deity walking among us mere mortals. Think about that time she took an onstage tumble, thought she was taking a selfie when it was actually a video, or sneezed mid-concert on the beat, and the beat got sicker, by the way. Well, it has happened again after a shopper spotted Queen Bee at a Target in Los Angeles on Monday, walking down what appears to be the baby aisle, wearing an orange jumpsuit, high heels, and cat's eye sunglasses. So I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna ask for you to stop and jot on your document who did what. And I would love to see you also jot that in the chat for me. So go ahead and private chat me who did what, and then I'm gonna call on one of you randomly to share. Go ahead. So 2 things, jotting on your document who did what, and then typing in the chat privately to me, and I'm gonna call on one of you to share. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Stephanie. Thanks, Jen, for prompting the gist in the chat. I appreciate that. Yep, thank you, Molly. Awesome. Kimberly, thank you. Perfect. And everybody has the same thing for the most part, which means we got it. Miss Johnson, can you unmute yourself and tell us what you wrote in the chat?
Beyonce went to Target.
She did. So I'm going to add that in my comment right here as my gist for this first section. Beyonce went to Target. And now remember, your document matches my document. So anything that I have should be in the comment section of yours. Okay, so now what I'm going to ask for you to do is I'm going to have you independently read paragraphs 5 and 6, and you can also take a look at these 2 tweets here. As you're reading, when you conclude those 2 paragraphs, I'm going to have you put a hashtag on the margin of your document, hashtag what happened. So Beyonce went to Target. Now you're reading paragraphs 5 and 6, and you're going to hashtag what happens. When you're done with that hashtag, you can also drop it in the private chat for me as well, and I will call on another person to share. So let's take 2 minutes to do this. Go right ahead. I have 3 people in the chat telling me what happened with a hashtag. Thank you. 4 people. Thank you, Shayla. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Laura and Alexis. These are hilarious. Thank you, Princess. Yes. Melanie. Yep. Okay, great. Fantastic. Melanie, can you unmute yourself and share what you ended up with as your gist statement?
Sure, I said hashtag fans went cray.
Okay, beautiful. Can you actually tell me where you got that from? How do you know they went crazy?
In paragraph 6, it says fans were naturally taken aback by Bey's presence at the store and reacted on social media with absolutely zero chill.
Okay, perfect. So I'm actually gonna highlight that. And remember, whatever I do, you do on your document. I have that highlighted and they went crazy. Also, these tweets are hilarious. I saw some people mention that this girl went, she went to the Target afterwards and kissed the floor, bowed down to the floor. She was like, the queen was here. I cannot believe I missed it. So that's very, oh, someone said hashtag fans are extra. Yes, 100%. All these are spot on. Beyonce goes to Target. Oh Lord, people are freaking out for sure. So remember, your document should have that highlighted and you should have hashtag fans went cray or something to that effect in your response. Okay, beautiful. It is never that serious. I would agree with that. Okay, so here's what you're gonna do. For the last 2 paragraphs, I'm gonna have you continue to read independently, and then you're gonna add your overall gist statement. So you're gonna read these 2 paragraphs independently again, and I want you to start your sentence with Beyonce blank and blank. So we're reading the last 2 paragraphs independently, adding your gist to your margin, and then go ahead and type it for me in the chat, Beyonce blank and blank. Go right ahead, let's take 2 minutes. Thank you, Stephanie. She's got her overall gist statement spot on. Thank you, Susan. Yup. Those are both perfect. Yup. Laura, exactly. Kadeen, great. Jewel, thank you. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Mr. Curry, Ms. Fleming. Awesome. Yes, for sure. Okay, so one thing I just want to mention from looking at the chat is make sure that your overall gist statement is just a single sentence. It shouldn't be a paragraph long, just one single statement to encompass what exactly the text is mainly about. Remember, when we're thinking about an overall gist, we're thinking about what are the most important parts of the text that we want to lift up. And let me see if I can have... Okay, Adrian, can you unmute yourself and share with us what you said?
Sure. I said Beyonce is a real person just like us and fans can't handle it.
100%. So that pretty much encompasses this entire article, right? This idea that Beyonce went to Target, she's a normal human being and people are freaking out about it. So if you have some sort of method of that, you are on the money and you have a general understanding of what this text is mostly about. So Beyonce did a normal activity and fans are freaking out about it. Something to the like of that encompasses what this text is mostly about. So now that we have a general understanding, we're going to move into the next portion of the lesson. We're going to talk through what our reading thinking steps are for today and then jump into our reread for deeper meaning. And scene.